Welcome to our warm-up flow. This sequence is designed to put us in touch with our whole body, but there's an extra focus on the feet, really putting us in touch with and finding our feet. So we'll begin on the ground in a seat, and then let's simply extend our legs out in front of us and cross your left ankle just above your right knee. So we have a pigeon leg in this left leg. And you can absolutely stay here if you're already getting like a hip stretch on your left side. But if you'd like a little more of a stretch, maybe bump that right foot in, bend this knee up. So we're in a bit of a seated propped pigeon. Then we'll simply hold the shape as we now turn our attention to this left foot and start to circle our left ankle through the air. And you can think of just trying to draw the smoothest, biggest circle, like with your left big toe. And then reverse directions on your circle. So just notice what it feels like to attempt to control your ankle joint through this range of motion. Also, while we're also stretching a bit, stretching that left hip at the same time. Okay, great work. And then you can let that go. Re-straighten the right leg if you had bent it, and then let's straighten both legs. We'll bring the right ankle just above the left knee, and just like last side, we could stay right here, or if we want a little more sense of stretch in the right hip, bump that left foot in a bit, and then we'll hold this position as we now start to move that right ankle joint. So we're doing our best to just isolate movement to the ankle. Think of drawing the biggest and smoothest circle as you can with your right big toe, and then reverse directions. And note to yourself, like, how did your two sides potentially differ between your feet? Was one foot maybe a little easier to control in these ankle circles than the other, or were they really just the same? This will be my last circle on this side. And then I'll straighten my left leg. Let's straighten both legs and just notice what you feel through your feet for a moment. Now, cross your ankles and let's shift into plank pose. So hands down and stop your way back into plank pose. Now, we're going to move between plank and down dog, but let's think of initiating the movement from our feet. Might be a little bit new, but just try this out. Think of sinking your ankles to the floor, and that action is what lifts your hips up and back for downward dog. And then we'll go back to plank, but let's do it from our feet. Send your heels forward and let that send the rest of your body back into plank. And then try it again, heels down to pull your way back into downward dog. So it's like the feet initiate the movement, but then the rest of our body, also has to help out. Send your heels forward, and then your shoulders come forward for plank pose. And just play with this a few more times at your own pace. Think of initiating from your feet, and how can having a focus there just maybe shift the whole way that you're feeling and experiencing what may be some kind of familiar transitions, our plank to down dog. We tend to do this pretty frequently, but how is it different when we tune into our feet and let our feet guide us? So for the last time, I'm going to stretch back to downward dog, heels down. Then let's bring our knees to the floor. Point your feet now. And sit back kind of like child's pose. Sit your hips back toward your heels. And just notice with your feet pointed here that maybe we can feel for a bit of a stretch through the tops of our feet, perhaps. And then just lift your hips forward again. And let's reach back and really feel the front of your feet shift forward. Reach your hips back, feel your feet, and then let's stay back and start to just shift our hips side to side. So like a little slow wiggle, side to side, rolling over your feet. Now you can stay just like I am, but if your feet feel like they would be just fine with this, maybe we come all the way up into a seat, and we just send a little more like weight bearing down through our hips and through our feet. Feel through the tops of your feet or the fronts of your feet here. Okay, great. And then let's bring our hands forward, tuck our toes under. We'll go to down dog, but let's do it by leading with our feet. So heels down to bring us into downward facing dog. Now bend your right knee. So we're in down dog, nothing else changed, but we just bent the right knee. And now lift your right leg up. So it's like down dog split, but the top knee is bent. Now your left foot is down there on the floor. Let's try this. Let's try to lift our left heel just as high as you can and lower your heel with control. Lift your heel, lower. And if you have a couple more in you, try it a couple more times. What does it feel like? We've got more load coming down through this left leg now, so we might feel some actual more work happening through the back of the lower leg. Okay, good. Then your heel can just reach down. Step your right foot forward, and let's open up into a twist. Right arm up, left hand down. Reach forward through your right inner knee and turn your heart toward the sky. Now come up onto your left fingertips. So we're tenting our left hand. And let's just try a smooth movement from this twisting high lunge into chair pose, Utkatasana. So don't think about it, just picture it in your mind, imagine it, and then do it. Chair pose, back foot steps forward, we land, and press to stand. Let's bring our hands in front of our heart. Step your left foot back into a shallow lunge. So I'm not stepping back very far. Like this isn't like big old high lunge, just a little shallow step. And then bring your hands onto your right thigh. So I'm up on the ball of my left foot, and now I am going to sink my left heel down and lift it back up. Heel down, lift up. Now I'm trying to aim for a stretch, feeling a stretch for my calf muscles on that back leg. If this is not giving me that, I can simply bump this back foot back and experiment a little further back. Maybe I need to go further back. You see what it's like for your body. Where do you need to step back to in order to find a sense of stretch through the back of your lower leg? And we're just lifting and lowering that heel. How about just one more time? Lower that heel down, feel a stretch, and we're kind of holding, pressing the heel down actively. Then think of just kind of turning those left toes just a little bit toward the side, because we're going to go to warrior one now, Virabhadrasana 1. So we'll stay bent in our front knee, reach up through our arms, ground down from your left hip all the way down through your left heel. And just what do you feel, especially through the back foot, also maybe this front foot? How does your experience in warrior one potentially feel a little different? Bit of a different exploration when we're kind of guiding it and focusing it from the feet from below. Okay, great. Now hands down, let's step to downward facing dog and just reset in center here. Hold everything still and bend your left knee. So just a little left knee bent. Then lift your left leg up. And now lift and lower your right heel, just as high as you're able to lift it. So it's a single leg down dog, calf raise basically. Lift and lower your right heel. What do you feel through those calf muscles? Okay, last time you can descend your heel and step your left foot forward. We will revolve our chest into our twist. Turn your heart toward the side wall. Stay tall through your spine. And then rise up onto your right fingertips. So just your right fingertips are on the floor. That'll send a little more weight like into your lower body. And then imagine a smooth transition into chair pose. So one sweeping movement. We step into Utkatasana. and then press to stand. Hands can come in front of our heart. Let's step our right foot back for beginning with a shallow lunge. Hands come down on the front of our left thigh and lift and lower the heel. And this right here might be plenty of a stretch, but if you feel like you need more, simply move that foot back and just continue to bump it back for a longer stance until you find the place that when you descend your heel down, you get a stretch sensation through the back of your lower leg, those calf muscles. And we'll just do a couple more lifts and lowers of that back heel. Then sink your heel down, turn the toes out a bit because we're going to warrior one and we have that foot angled out a bit in warrior one. Keep your heel descending. We stay bent in the front knee and we reach our arms up. So your actual stride length doesn't matter here, just as long as you have, you've got a 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and we're thinking of grounding through that back heel. Connect from your right hip all the way down through that right heel. Our chest can square forward. How do you feel through both feet in this probably pretty familiar standing pose? Great. Now, from this warrior one, let's simply bring our hands onto our hips, lightly step our back foot forward. Come to stand in your Tadasana and tune down into your feet. This concludes our warm-up flow. Thanks so much for practicing with me.